prefixing on the message in order to put my component name. So on add user, what we are trying to do, publish add user success message.spec.ts or something like that, right? Like this. And let's describe this quickly. Help me on this. Describe, publish. Yeah, so keep telling so that I know that you are listening. And what should I test here? It should. Let's do one thing that it is. Yes, it should add user. It should add user to store and publish. So let's do one by one. It should add user to the store is the one thing it will do first. And then assert this one, right? So what we are supposed to do, we need to fire that message. So we'll say bus. I can grab the bus from here. jQuery and bus I may need. I'll just grab it. Right? And then I'll say bus dot publish sync is there. Which message? Add user. And then what actually we will pass? User object, no? And user object we have to again mock. I'll take from somewhere. I'll take from here. I think we have it already. Expected user or something. I'll create that user, call it user. Put different ID, 52. So I have now user and I'm publishing this message. So what has to happen now? So on this message, whenever it is published, let's assert that the store has that data now, right? So I can assert from the store. And what is my expected user? This is my expected user. So I can rename it expected user also is same. So I'll say expect the store dot get user by ID. Store I need to first bring, right? So I'll say import star as store from store. Sometimes it seems a lot of verbose coding, like store dot get user by ID and pass the ID 52 and to be to equal. So when it is a string, use to be. When it is object, use to equal. To equal expected user, like this. So you know that once this component will come in the picture, it will basically add the data into the store, add the user into the store. Okay, so let's see if this test is failing, and it will say that what it is saying, expected undefined basically. So store has no data right now. So let me know if you're not following and you want me to pause. So I'll just copy this file and create another file, and I'll call it I'll remove the spec from here. This is my component, and again what this component should do, what was that name? Publish success thing. Now where is the success? This one. Okay, so here what it is supposed to do, it is supposed to subscribe this event first, add user, right? So I'll say bus dot subscribe to this and call publish add user success message, and then I create this function. And in this function, what we are supposed to do, put the data in the store. So I have store, I'll say store dot add user, and I'll add the user. User is coming from here. I'll get the message which is of type string, and then user which is of type user. God help me typing. So store dot as user. So this test should pass now. This is the first thing we are expecting. and let me import this so that it is there. So don't forget to import, otherwise again it will fail. So I'll import here. Since I have already imported my first component, I'll import the another component, and which is the name of export the from component called as on add user or something like that. Publish blah, blah. So I included in my barrel, and let's see if this test pass or fail. Basically it should pass, saying that it is added into the store, because we what we did, where is this one, right? So unless it is subscribing after and all of that, right? Before it is publishing, it is subscribing, not subscribing, that issue. So if that issue comes, then again we will put the listen thing and we'll call it. But basically we are saying when this publish the add user and then pass the user and ask the store, and here we are subscribing. What error it is coming? Expected undefined to equal to this object, right? Still it is undefined. So what could be the reason? I didn't export this component. So see, I am exporting the component from there, but I didn't export from here. So try to remember these mistakes. So you should export each functions and then export the entire module. Module is the file from the that location, and then you should see something different error. Some different error should come. Expected undefined, still undefined, or what it is? Undefined to equal. Okay, what else? Bus.subscribe, add user. Okay, there's something going on here. You already added in the barrel also, right? So it should be fine. What is going on then? Try to debug, it may crash, I don't know. So let's see if that file is there or not, called as publish add user success, right? I don't know, this file is still not there. See, if I add some file, it takes some time to load, or maybe I have to stop the test and rerun, right? If I add new file, it seems it is, you need a break, 5 minutes? Oh, it's fine. So I'm rerunning it. Maybe I added this component and this files and it didn't take, maybe. Ideally it should take it. Called with which message? Add user success. And what we want to pass? User.id. Right? And this message I want to create in the message module. So last time I did the mistake, I copied this entire thing and then I forgot to rename the actual thing. Add user success and add success. This is done, and here this we have to import from message module. Good. So we will see if this test fails or pass. So now how many tests are failing? All of them, both of them. It is still undefined. Let's debug why it is undefined. Mostly that file is still not loading, or what is that? Publish success spec is there, the file is not there. Publish add user success, right? The file is not there. I don't know why this is not loading file every time. Still this is the issue. I keep changing this, right? Sometimes I still don't think that we should load entire TypeScript.
What happens if you keep both, like spec files and TypeScript files?
Yeah, you can just load both, but if you do just .ts, it will do automatically both because it will check spec and ts, right? But this makes little slow. My thing was slow. That is why I just keep changing the spec. I'm not sure which is the correct one. I always see everybody just use spec here because normally in spec you import that module, whichever module you are testing. But in our case, we are doing differently. We are saying ki it is just pops up model and you are not even importing that module. So that should be the case that it is not getting imported.
We have also included some path next to the context. This dot, right?
This one?
Yeah, over there, like source app related path.
Where here?
Yeah.
Here we can also say go to the source, right? Rather than going entire. That's what you're saying?
Yes.
We can write here /source rather than the entire thing, right? That could improve little bit, right? Something like this. App also, yeah. That will improve. Good, thanks. So, okay, it's still loading. So basically what we did is we went ahead in our bundle and just removed that spec and we put all TypeScript files, and then it is loading. And now it is saying something different message. It is saying that you call user at success with 53, but it is calling with entire object. So we are firing entire object, I think. So let's correct that. So and first test automatically passed, the first one. We had this one, right? Store has the data now. That passed and this failed. Because here we are expecting just the ID, but maybe we are not passing the ID. We are publishing with the entire, we are not even publishing basically. So we'll publish here now. Bus.publish synchronously, add user success, comma user.id. Is this component complete now? When this test fail pass? Yes, right? We stored the data and then we published. Our job is done. If this test pass, then this is good. What error it is saying that is ignore this parser thing. But what about the test? So add success, but actually calls were users add. Rather than add success, it is calling add. Why? Publish add user success should add user to store. Let me first change the name of the test. Should
Publish
add user success. So what I'm saying here, burst then publishing add user, and then burst dot publish sync to have been called with add user success. That looks good, yeah. This is why I always think, should I move in before each? I don't know whether this will help or not. So I moved our spy very beginning, but I don't know whether this will help or not. So basically, this is asserting that this is called. So I think um, uh, our component is not yet publishing. That could be the issue. So see, it is saying it is publish sync is called with add user, means it is asserting this line because we are upfront calling, right? Publish synchronous with add user. So this is what it is saying key. So far your bus is just called this one, and I think our component uh, yet not called that component. Now if you see what errors are coming. So first one is also breaking and then it is still the same one, right? So this component test is not at all working. So what could be the mistake? Add user, store and then publish. This is good. This look good. So see, that is how. So when you when you write code, it seems it is good and it is nice. But when you write test, then you know that there is some error. Either you write test or you manually test it through browser, and then you will keep debugging. So that's how it is. And this writing test is like a skill. You'll develop it slowly when you write, and this will help you to write good code basically. When you write for test, then you can write for anything basically. So publish sync was called with this. So let's debug it why it is not called, whether we are publishing or not, if it will allow me to debug. I don't know. This is breaking in my machine, is crashing. So I go to publish, add user success one, right? Success message class. And then so I can search one more time, publish, add user success, and see there are two class. One is with the ID 661, whatever the question mark. Select that, otherwise you'll see this cryptic file. Success, and then with the success there is a two file. We select this one. So let's see if this is firing or not. So we are using the same thing, right? Add user success and blah blah. If I publish this, what happens? Wow, why this is crashing? When we reload the test, it is crashing. It is crashing maybe because of this thing, that it is trying to compile the node module things. I already told not to compile, exclude, but still it is not adhering my instructions. I don't know why. What's going wrong? I don't know. Okay, so let's try one more time. So every time you write test, you write code, it is not right from the beginning. There is something wrong always, right? That is why you write test, to assert that this is running, right? Second one is failing. So should publish, add user success. Just keep failing. No. So see, the constant is there. User we are passing, we are publishing, add user. So it seems let's do that. Let's do export. Like we said, right? Let's do the listen thing also. Export function. I'm just guessing this listen thing maybe not controlled. But how come the first one is working, right? If this is not listening, then first test will also not run. But somehow this test is passing, right? So this publish is working. But let me just try that out, that listen thing. So I'm making sure that it is subscribing before I publish. So it is not allowing me to debug. That is the problem. So if I just click here, it will not reload. So I'm going to the file again, trying to go there. Yeah, right. It's a simple line, two line of code. See, and we are publishing also. I'm not sure what's going on. not crash. So publish add user, it should go there. It's not even going. That's the problem. And what about the first one? First test. So let's see your publish. This component is not even loaded, or what is going on? It is loading, right? You remember last time there was something different happening? Either subscribe is correct, right? We do this way, right? Or subscribe sync is also there. No, right? So subscription is happening unless the message is wrong. No, right? A user side is published. So when it is published, um, success message.ts, this function should be called basically, right? Because we are calling the exact function. So it is called for the first time. It went ahead and published the add user success message also. So the first time it was doing, right? If I just assert this line here, then also it should pass theoretically. And ID is 52, right? This is the compromise I'm doing. We should not expect two things in one test. So when you run in your home, just check if this is keep crashing, let me know. We'll fix it. Oh, here there is something wrong. That is why it is keep breaking, right? Did we change anything here? Export star from on add user publish this, right? What is wrong here in this line? Publish user success. The name listen consider explicitly exporting to resolve the conflict. Okay, so maybe this listen thing I'm using 2 times, so it is crying. So let me remove this. Let me remove this also. And I can say remove all of the unused modules. That should be expected as spy, but caught a function. Oh, because we didn't spy, right? In this test case. Let me spy. Let's see if it is, but I think something going wrong. You have to figure it out that. But for now, I'm just trying this way, like importing the module now. Import. And then here, right? Okay, so we listen and then we spy and publish. Unless we are doing some mistake. Yes, like add user messages are correct, right? Last time messages were not correct. That's success. They are different. This pub sub is not working. So this is the exact bus we are using, right? Yeah. So it is not at all working basically, right? Always saying undefined, undefined means it is not at all working. So that pub sub is not working, it seems, because now we did explicit listening also. So we call listen and we pass in users.add, and where's that spec? It is publishing here, right? So it is first subscribing, and then we are publishing, and it is not happening. So let's debug this. Oh. Any guess what could be the wrong here? What could be wrong? There is a silly mistake we did. What silly mistake we did? Okay, this guy is crashing. That's another thing. Okay. So what mistake we did? Is that the messages you think wrong?
Might be published, but it might be subscribed somewhere.
But we saw, right? It is subscribing. Is it that messages are not? This is not liking this message. I don't know. This should not be the case because last time we tested, this was working.
Yeah.
Don't know. That is not the case, right? So we have to debug that pops up library, what exactly it is doing. But this guy is always crashing. I'm just going to debug and it is crashing. It seems subscribe is called and then we are publishing. So, but still, it is not listening. So publish. This is the subscribe thing, and then it is just doing 2 lines of code. But I am still feeling so that you will not. If it is subscribing, how can I go inside that? See, it added in the messages bag, it added users add, and it added the function also. In users add, it added the subscription. You see, it publish add user success message. It added our stuff. And then when we are publishing synchronously, let's go back into that code. See, it is, oh, sorry. So you saw that? What was, I got it, but did you get that? Sorry, I just closed because I got it. So see what is happening? It is not calling the library code, it is calling the fake call from the Jasmine.
Oh, you didn't give call.
Exactly. So see, I reminded you last time that you need that. This time I did that mistake by myself. So see, I'm spying and then I'm not saying that make call. It took our lot of time, right? So we'll say and call through. This is how you learn. So, but you learn and then you should remember some of the stuff. Like whenever you spy, you make sure that you are also asking them to call that. And unless you debug, you don't know that. So now you can put them in separate functions also. So now it should call that handler, and that handler should do all of this use case. Is it still compiling? Then still we have some time to finish the last one. What it is saying? So it is passing, right? So let that is pending is because of this one. So I can uncomment this and remove this, and then you remember here I was again spying and I am not doing call through.
Yeah.
That was my mistake. So what I could do is just do one time here at before each, so that before each test runs, you already spied it. So you don't need to spy multiple time, and you don't need to repeat that mistake multiple time. So before each, I just spy and then make call through, and then I say okay. Then you don't need all of this module that we did, listen and all of that. I think they are fine. So I can just revert that thing. So I can say revert this and just put export here, and no need of listen. You can just subscribe front here at the top, and so on, right? All of that we did, just to show you that those are not the issue. You could do all of that, but this is what it is. So this was all good. We had this function, but it was not called. Now we don't need this module. That's it. Then no need of listen. Correct. And then we publish. We expect that this is called success one, and it should pass. So let's do the last one. What is that one? On add success. Is it still failing? What happened now? Oh, it is running the old code. Okay, sorry. So on add user success. Good, right? Still passing, right? All of our tests passing. So last one is on add user success. What we should do? Let's create a component called as add user to UI. Let's say call it something like that, right? This is our last test, and we hope after that our website should run, right? And let me stop this